Hello there, welcome to Jade Between Pages. I'm Jade, and today I'm somewhere between pages, in the warmth of ink and quiet, revisiting words I once wrote and listening to what they've become. Today feels quieter than usual, not empty, just a kind of quiet that holds something. I was going through some old files the other day, which I mentioned on our last page, the kind you don't really open unless you're feeling a little nostalgic or a little lost. And I found something, an analysis I wrote a year ago, back when I was in my third year of college, back when I thought understanding literature meant being able to explain it clearly, to be able to score in our breakout sessions, and not to be unnamed in our GC, like the character of the story we will be talking shortly. To name its parts, to trace its meaning, to make it make sense, connecting it to history and vaccine-related theory or philosophy. It was about The Bread of Soul by NVM Gonzalez. And reading it now felt like sitting across from someone who knows me, but only the version of me I used to be. And I thought, maybe I'll read parts of it here. Not to prove anything, not to teach anything, just to listen to it again. And maybe listen to myself now. I mentioned in my analysis that quotation, life contains various flavors beyond sweetness. Do you agree? I remember writing that line, that part. It sounded right. It sounded certain. But I don't think I fully understood it back then. Because when you're earlier in your life, you still expect things to lean toward sweetness. You believe that if you're patient enough, if you try hard enough, if you feel deeply enough, things will eventually make sense. Now, I think life doesn't really promise sweetness. It just offers you flavors. Some you welcome, some you resist, some you only understand long after they've passed. I also mentioned in my analysis that quotation, Pandesal symbolizes the narrator's life, the unnamed boy, because Bread of Soul pertains to Pandesal. In continuation to my analysis, a mix of simplicity, class struggles, and the emotional roller coaster of love, pride, and shame. So, upon reflecting that line, Pandesal, something so ordinary, warm in the morning, familiar in the hands, something you don't really think about until you stop and do. Back then, I tried to explain it, to turn it into something symbolic, but now, I think its meaning isn't just in what it represents, but in how something so simple can quietly carry so much. Like certain days in our lives that feel small, mundane, ordinary, until we look back and realize they changed something in us. Another point in my analysis, I stated there, love, a powerful and transformative emotion. His romanticization becomes both a source of motivation and a potential pitfall. Do you believe that as well? I think I was trying to make love sound understandable, can simply be categorized under good or bad. But love, at least the kind you felt, didn't stay inside definitions, categorizations. It reaches small moments into something bigger than they are. A glance becomes meaning, a silence becomes an answer. And somehow, we start believing in something that we never fully there. We start believing something that was never fully there. And when it breaks, it's not just a feeling that disappears. It's the world you built around it. So you're like, and you want it. Yes. Okay, continuation to my reading. His assumptions blind him to the unreciprocated nature of his affection. Unreciprocated. Before it was just a word, honestly. Now it feels like a quiet realization. The kind that doesn't arrive loudly but settles slowly. Like noticing you've been holding on to something alone. His continuation to my analysis. His interpretation of non-verbal cues leads to false conclusions. We do that often, right? We read people the way we read stories, looking for meaning, for patterns, for something to hold on to. But people aren't always written clear. And sometimes we're not reading them. And whether you agree or not, we're reading ourselves through them. We're reading ourselves through other people. Then I quote there, the gap between social classes, his desire to transcend his circumstances. I used to think this was just about status, about difference, But now, I think the gap exists in quieter ways too. In insecurities, in comparisons, and the quiet belief that we have to become more just to feel like we belong. Like we have to earn our place in someone else's world. Did you experience that? When reading when Ida offers him a plastic bag, he feels humiliated. Throwing the food away symbolizes his break from illusion. This moment feels heavier now, right? It's not just about the food anymore. It's about being seen, but not in the way you hope. It's about suddenly becoming aware of yourself through someone else's eyes. And in that moment, you can't hold onto the illusion anymore. So you let it go. This is so hard. Not just the moment, not just the feeling, but the version of reality you believed in. And then he buys bread again, pandesal, simple, uncomplicated, real. No imagined meanings, no expectations, just what it is. Maybe that's what growing up feels like. Not becoming something entirely new, but returning to something honest, something simple. Back then I thought I understand this story. Now, I think I'm still understanding it. And maybe I always will, because stories don't change. We do. I do. And every time we return to them, they meet us where we are. And maybe this space, this quiet place of ink and pages, isn't just about stories. It's about noticing how they move through us, how they stay, how they quietly become part of who we are. There's something comforting about reading your old words, right? And realizing they still echo, just differently now. Like the ink that hasn't faded, only settled deeper into the page. Yeah, that's enough. Okay, let's end here. So until the next page turns, I'll be here, somewhere between pages. This is Jade. Thank you.